And somebody out there that we promise when we assume the chairmanship of the CDC that we intend to confront the Liberia government in a constructive fashion. And we have come here today to announce our monthly press briefings that we intended to accept extra judicial activities of the government because this is a human rights. In less than 100 days, the government has engaged in a lot of extra judicial activities violating the Constitution, violating various laws in the country. We have chosen to document these violations, these excesses, by writing the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Janga Kowo, and the Senate Pro Tem, Janga Kowo. We have decided to put the government on record because we are going to document the activity of the government from the beginning to now. In less than 100 days, you have seen before your very eyes that the government is proceeding with a lot of extra judicial action, which are counterproductive to the peace and stability of the country. The Liberia government has embarked on summit dismissal of civil servants. The Liberia government has embarked on using the police to let out brutality leading to death of citizens around the country. The Liberia government has taken onto itself to violate detention laws that were created in the 12-year regime of the Unity Party. In short, the Unity Party government is proceeding on a track of communication. It's important to put them on constructive notice. And so we have written 2 letters to the House of Representatives and to the Liberia Senate. Because these institutions are institutions of the state where we are able to represent them and where we think our lawmakers will use those fora to check the executive branch of the Unity Party government. And so I will take liberty to read the letters we wrote. The letters basically are the same contents. One was written to Speaker Kofa and another to Pro Tem Janga Kowo. And we have also to our international partners, to the ECOWAS mission in Liberia, the US Embassy, the Nigerian Embassy, the European delegation in Liberia. All of these institutions and embassies have been copied because we want to put them on notice. But during the 6 years of the CDC government, they kept us in check. And it's time for us to document their excesses. But while we're even preparing for this press conference, we received information that the quote-unquote asset recovery team was harassing peaceful citizens. And the harassment of peaceful citizens is very dangerous because citizens do have the right to self-defense. If you begin to attack the government that should be cognizant of the laws of the country. The government is operating with the rule of law. So the government can get in the street and begin to attack physically citizens, peaceful citizens. And the government is actually seeking trouble. We want to call on President Janga Kowo to take due note and to desist. The government should desist from harassing citizens. Because the speaker, the chairman of the CDC has got the authority or the right to harass any citizen without the judicial process. So for the government to be engaged in extra judicial activity because they put people in the street and they begin to physically attack citizens, peaceful citizens. It's very counterproductive, it's reprehensible, we test it in the strongest form. And that's why we have decided not only to come here to speak, but to send out letters to the statutory agencies of government that have the authority to check the executive branch. So I will take them out to read the letter we wrote to Kofa. So, Honorable Jonathan Funanti Kofa, Speaker, House of Representative, Capital Hill, Monrovia, Liberia, March 27, 2024. Dear Speaker Kofa, we write to bring to your urgent attention and that of the entire membership of the House of Representatives matters of grave national concern pertaining to serious violation of the Liberian Constitution and other statutory laws and the uniparty government of President Joseph Human Party. As you are aware, Liberia conducted democratic elections in October and November 2023, in which the uniparty won by a very slim margin of about 1% of the votes. His Excellency President George Manuel William considered and congratulated President Wakai long before the announcement of the final results. The concession of the president was done in good faith and was intended to bring down election-related tensions and to save the country from any potential electoral violence. President Weah, after conceding, immediately proceeded to start into motion a robust transition process which facilitated the peaceful democratic transfer of power to the CDC government to the uniparty government of President Joseph Human. Since the inception of the government, of the uniparty government on January 22nd, 2024, there have been a series of actions which are in clear violation of the Liberian Constitution, various statutory laws, and established protocols. Since the inception of the government, there have been a series of actions which are in clear violation of the Constitution. Paramount among these disruptive actions of the current government is that they respect and utter disregard being exhibited to the former president, His Excellency George Manuel William. After handing over power on January 22nd, there have been no proper arrangement or discussion or briefing on security and protocols for the former president. Upon the return of President Weah to Liberia on February 23, 2024, and delegation, they were denied access to the VIP lounge that was constructed by the CDC government. And while the president plane was airborne, there were delays in granting the president aircraft any rights, even though they have been given prior assurance. This, in our opinion, constituted a serious security breach and potentially be a threat to the life of President Weah. There has also been a harassment of EPS officers who have been providing protection to the former president. Some have been arrested, suspended, or declared AWOL. The recent press release of the EPS indicating that there is no law. The recent press release of the EPS indicating that there is no law requiring protection for former presidents or former VIPs in the country is a clear demonstration of insensitivity and disregard for established rules which provided security protection for the current president when he was former vice president of the Republic and former President Eddie Johnson Saleh. The release for the EPS is a grounds disrespect of the former president and will constitute a threat to his person. I will read out line again. The release from the EPS indicating that there is no requirement by law to provide protection for former presidents of the Republic, asking the president to seek private protection is a potential threat to the life of the president because it's coming from the director of the Executive Protection Service. experience who can provide him protection today. Protocol demands that he get protection from the state as former president, or from the EPS director. The issue of release is defending the office of former president. It's totally unacceptable, condemning the strongest terms. Call on to make one archive to take the seat of the map against the EPS director. Draw the respect to the former president. His action, like we said, constitutes a potential threat to the life of the president. I also want to bring to the attention of the Honorable House of Representatives the death in Grand Cape County, in which the action between the Liberia National Police and protesters resulted in the loss of lives. In the same year of the CDC government and the numerous incessant protests all around the country from various sectors of the society, there was no loss of life at the hands of the police or security forces. The security forces were on a strict mandate and strict instructions to protesters to avoid loss of life. Contrary to that, less than 100 days of the ruling party government, we have seen the police have been instructed and mandated to use live ammunition, resulting in the death of citizens in Grand Cape County. This is totally unacceptable. We call for a speedy investigation of the situation in Grand Cape County, a strong warning, caveat to the police and other security forces exercise maximum restraint in dealing with protesters or demonstrations. There was also a situation between a power theft suspect and the NEC power theft team that has a police duty embedded with it. That incident led to the death of the power theft suspect. While we applaud power theft, no amount of power theft should result in to kill a citizen of the country. This again should be condemned in the strongest of terms, and the appropriate remedial action should be taken. We also wish to bring to the attention of the Honorable House of Representatives the great security issue to call at the Robert International Airport on Monday, March 18, 2024, when armed personnel of the armed forces of Liberia were deployed to confront peaceful supporters of the CDC who had assembled to welcome back to the country the acting chief of the CDC, Janga Kowo. The use of the AFL in surveillance situation has the potential to create altercation with citizens, which erode the trust and confidence between citizens and the armed forces. As a country, we have tried to build confidence between citizens and the armed forces. It is critically important to continue to build and consolidate that trust and confidence as a way of consolidating and sustaining and deepening the peace and stability of the country. Another issue we wish to draw the attention of the Honorable House of Representatives is the harassment of civil servants and other state-owned enterprises.
Hunter, where to? Hunter, where to? Hunter, where to?
Another issue we to draw the attention of the national legislature and international partners is the harassment of civil servants and other public sector workers, agencies, commission, and state-owned enterprises. The harassment of public sector employees for political reasons is counterproductive and is a clear violation of the Constitution of Liberia, which guarantees the right to work and also guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of association. Government should desist. Government should desist from harassing perceived supporters of the CDC across the government. Summit dismissal and unwarranted suspension on fleeting grounds are totally unacceptable, inappropriate, and reprehensible. Their report also that recently assigned foreign service staff of the government of Liberia and Liberian missions abroad are being harassed and threatened, in some cases being denied salaries and benefits. Call on the national legislature, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, to investigate these allegations of harassment
headquarters of the CDC.
Foreign service. These foreign service staff were duly appointed and commissioned by the former president of the Republic of Liberia and the former government and were deployed in the foreign service. And so the current government does not have the right to begin to harass the legislature, the Senate, and the House of Representatives to do an investigation of this matter. The other great issue is that interference with 10 new offices across the government. Since the inauguration of the Janga government, it has embarked on the harassment and attempted dismissals of officials in 10 new positions. Most of the laws for 20 offices across the government were created during the 12-year administration of the Unity Party. And when the government took the power, it did everything possible to respect putting these 10 offices. Most of the laws for 10 offices were created during the 12-year administration of the Unity Party and government, and the current president, who was the vice president of the Republic and then president of the Senate for 12 years, is the secretary to these laws, ignoring the security of 10 new provided by these laws to officials. One of these statutes contravene the spirit of good governance and the rule of law. A few days ago, the head of the GOL quote-unquote asset recovery team, Mr. S. Martin, appeared on a talk show and lied by His Excellency former President William did not declare his asset, which is a blatant falsehood. Deliberately making false statements against the former President of the Republic of Liberia by an official of the current government amounts to harassment, gross disrespect, and should not be tolerated. Call on the national legislature to also take seize of this matter. On another note, which is very, very serious, several individuals accused of engaging in sexual violence in local campaign, which resulted into the death of citizens in Foya. Local campaign have been appointed to local government position in the same locality where he was born. And these individuals are still on trial. The appointment of these alleged perpetrator of murder and electoral violence in Foya has the propensity to incite violence and seem to encourage impunity. We call on the President, Joseph Human Brother, to immediately withdraw these appointments.
Report on the chairperson of our party. Hunter, ready.
To conclude, we'd like to thank the Honorable House of Representatives, under the leadership of the Speaker, Mr. J. Funaki Kofa, for signing the War and Economic Crimes Resolution. is expected to bring closure to the long-standing issue of impunity in Liberia for human rights abuses committed during 50 years of the French Civil War. We want to assure the Honorable House of Representatives the fullest support of the Coalition for Democratic Change in this venture. We call on the Liberia Senate to concur with the House of Representatives to the economic war crown school for Liberia. In conclusion, we want to call on the national legislature, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, to take seize of this matter, to curb the lawlessness that is growing across the country. Take seize of the matter to curb the extrajudicial activities of the current government. Call on the national legislature to take seize of this matter, to curb the harassment that is taking place of civil servants across government. We call on the national legislature to take seize of the matter. Do not allow the country to descend into chaos before you act. But when citizens are attacked, when peaceful citizens are attacked, we have no option but to defend themselves. Like we said before, we do not intend to be a disruptive opposition. We call on the government in power not to disrupt the peace. The reason why we are considered with one issue, our victory was within the margin of error, was intended to consolidate the peace of the country, to consolidate the democracy of the country. It is now a license to begin to map out extrajudicial activities against citizens. It is now a license to authorize the police to begin to kill people around the country. It's not a license to harass perceived members of the CDC government. But when we talk about 2018, President George Manawiya mandated all government ministers, directors, not to harass, not to displace any civil ceremony or unity party or not. And we challenge the unity party to show how many people were displaced from the civil service. No, we did not. And we expect the Unity Party government that was in power for 12 years that should have some governance understanding to understand that citizens of the country are entitled to work. Citizens of the country are also entitled to associate. Those are constitutionally guaranteed rights that should not be tampered with. No amount of power drunkenness. No amount of power drunkenness should make any government official or any government minister or any government director to begin to target peaceful citizens. The elections are over. We are preparing ourselves for an electoral battlefront come 2029. Do not be the disruptor of your own government. Do not be the disruptor of your own government. For your action, and the day we heard, before action, the police were harassed. That is totally unacceptable. Before action, the police left this country diligently. If you think you have committed any crime, you have the coast. Why with the government? It is so amusing to see that the government is refusing to use its own judicial system. The government is creating a situation where it's engaging in proper justice. The government should be the land to call people in the street and beat them as dogs to harass citizens, whether they are from government officials or not. So we call the government to maintain the peace. Call on the government to maintain the peace because President George Manawiya considered considered now out of weakness. But he considered so that he will put a stamp on the democratic credential of the Mandate Coalition for Democratic Change. He considered to demonstrate to the opposition and to the international community and the Coalition for Democratic Change is the party of the people. He considered because he is an international peace actor. He is an international peace actor who said that he will not be part of any activity that will lead to